welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and Patreon subscriber Claire gave me a dealer's choice to do whatever I want to prep for Eternal Weekend, and I've decided to showcase Nadu one last time. Nadu is a deck that takes many forms. It's put up a lot of results with the various different ways you can build it in the 6 months the card has existed. Banned in basically every other format. Legacy is the last place we can really do this. Nadu is not really on my radar as a deck I'm seriously considering for Eternal Weekend, but I think that's just due to the raw power of Psychic Frog rather than any slight on Nadu itself. However, I do love a green combo deck, combo control, that is entirely my vibe, and it's a deck that people need to know about going into Eternal Weekend, so I'm going to play it again here. This list comes from Einstein on MTGO. From a recent 5.0 deck dump, Einstein has been working on this deck, the Nadu archetype, since Nadu was released. He is a quasi-local player to me, regional player to me, and he got second place in a tournament with Nadu the week Modern Horizons 3 first existed, so he's been on it in the trenches the whole time. This is the relatively fair Green Sun Zenith build. There are builds that play kind of like elves. They even have Natural Order for Greater Hoof Behemoth as a button you can press in the deck. This one goes a little lower to the ground rather than trying to go all the way into the stratosphere with a big combo kill. But you get Swords to Plowshares, Force of Will, Ponder, Brainstorm out of this shell, compared to being kind of a base green Court of Calling style Manador Cope It Works kind of deck. I do like this one better. There is no infinite combo with Nadu. We don't have Springheart Nantuko. We're not really going anywhere with the cards except to unbeatable advantage. If you're drawing 7 to 14 cards a turn, your opponent's just gonna die to your 3/4 flyer, even if you have nothing else going on, but you'll very quickly have other things going on. This deck is good. I have a lot of respect for it. Even if I'm unlikely to play it myself, I am very likely to have to play against it. And I know there are fans in the BoshNRoll Patreon who'd love to see me play it, so here we go. This is Nadu Combo. 3-for-1 Trading is having a Black Friday sale that starts Wednesday, November 27th. Their online store has a fantastic selection of high-end Magic cards, especially for vintage, legacy, and old-school players. Remember to sign up now so you don't miss the Black Friday deals. Use the QR code or go to shop.3for1trading.com. I'm on the draw for round 1. I've kept this hand. Force blue card, Ponder. Little graveyard hate. Very slow graveyard hate, but it is graveyard hate. And we'll see what I'm up against here. I think I want to wasteland this opponent. I want this game to go longer. Cycling Troll. Now I'm less interested in actually wastelanding them. If they had Entombed, I would have wasted them, but I'm fine just having an extra mana source in play. This mana source could do something like cast a fairy and bounce the troll. Animate Dead. I could try to force this. I think I will. I'll start a fight somewhere. They forced me back pitching Daze. Okay. If I had wasted, they wouldn't have been able to play Animate Dead, but I did. I'm not upset with the exchange that I got here. I'm going to take 5 from this troll and then play Teferi. Drawing Lush Portico is a shame because that is what I wanted to fetch for, and now I am extremely soft to wasteland if I play that out. I'm just going to play the fetch land. Here comes 5 damage, and they did not play any cards at all. There is a basic Plains in the deck if I want to fetch that, but I have to get a non-basic off this Misty anyway. I'm going to get Savannah and try to set up Keen-Eyed Curator. Alright, hope they don't have a Daze. Mana's in the pool, hard cast Daze. Okay. Well, this game just got harder. And they missed a land drop last turn, which means their hand is all spells right now. You could point to the Wasteland sequence, like maybe I'm just supposed to Ponder looking for Swords to Plowshares, though if they had Entombed, I would have wasted. Maybe I'm just supposed to waste anyway. Arguments could be made to have played this game differently. Alright, what does this Zenith do? There's Uro and Nadu in the deck. Nadu doesn't do a lot here. Uro might. Okay. And they did draw a land, which must be their draw for the turn. That's what makes sense here. Wow, force blue card again. Okay. Yeah, we're just getting properly reanimated. I can still just draw a Plow or a Teferi this turn, and it's not too late. Well, the last card in hand's Entomb. That's okay. And it sets up a messed up thing, but they are now Hellbent. They'll probably get Undercity Sewers in the end step, looking for that last reanimate to shut the door. Dump to Force of Will. If they brick and I draw a removal spell, we're actually in good shape here. They go to 3 and Moment of Truth. Big draws. Nomad is not it. Yeah, not enough things to block here. That'll do. Okay, it just took 3 free counter spells to stop me, but I mean, it's Reanimator on the play. What are you going to do? Ghost Vacuum comes in. Prismatic Ending is good versus the creature part of their deck. Veil of Summer covers all of the colors their deck plays. Endurance and Malanthrope. Malanthrope's interesting. When it enters, exile target player's graveyard, put a +1 counter on this for each creature exiled this way. I am not entirely convinced that this is better than just a 3rd Endurance. Because Endurance, its Zenith's the same, but Endurance has Flash in your hand and has the pitch mode on it, where this is just like, it seems clever for the sake of clever, unless Einstein was just really in his bag and his sideboard map needed another blue card to support Force of Will. That's, I think, the only reason I could really be sold on this compared to Endurance. This does nothing versus Doomsday, where Endurance is solid. Oh, I think that's kind of weird, but it's in the deck and we're playing it. I think I want my Force of Wills out. They are likely to at least partial juke, and I don't want to be caught with this. I could shave some Delighted Halflings to make space here, and maybe it's Bristly Bill after that. This sideboard doesn't map in a way that is very obvious to me, even though this is the #1 deck in the metagame we're playing against, which makes me think I either don't know how to sideboard with this, or the map is bad, but I doubt the map is bad based on everything I said about the work that Einstein's been putting in for 6 months about this. Okay, I'm going in. I will keep this. I have Ghost Vacuum and Veil of Summer. That's a good 1-2 punch to start out the game. There is a Dryad Arbor in the deck. All right, I'm going to take a turn off Thoughtseize Protection to do the ramp. Sad thing about this Dryad Arbor in the deck is that if the fetch land in my hand at the end of the last game could fetch a forest and wasn't Flooded Strand, I actually would have had 3 blockers to survive another troll turn. A Thoughtseize is the big thing that would bother me here. Okay, Fatal Push is not a huge deal. I think I would rather have mana than not have mana. If I wasteland them, they can't daze my Ghost Vacuum. But if they waste me back, it's really bad. I'm going to go for it. Wasteland you. And Ghost Vacuum. They'd have to force it to answer it here. Okay, are we going to play a both of us wastelanding each other garbage game? Or are we going to play some spells? It's not a wasteland. That's a good start. Ah! Foolish me with my Veil of Summer. If I had not wastelanded them, I could have veiled here. But they also might have just shoved Psychic Frog, a card that I am in no way prepared to deal with right now. They took my Brainstorm. I hope I can punish immediately by ripping a green source and playing this Curator. Alright, how about I draw a Brainstorm? Motobug. I'm going to put back Nadu and Curator. And I did find a land, but only one. If they have Land Frog here, that's really bad. A Brainstorm from you. I'd love to see a Brainstorm block. Did my aggressive Wasteland pay the bills or not? They did find Polluted Delta. And I'm going to continue exiling the most unique card types in their graveyard. A Brainstorm again. This is only going to see 2 new cards, Nadu plus 2 unknowns, but come on, land. We did it. I'm going to put back both Nadus. Yeah, my plan is not to shuffle here. Just hit my land drop and then do stuff in the future. Maybe I just don't need this Curator with Ghost Vacuum in play. I think I might be tunnel visioned on this Raccoon Buddy. But that is how I play around Daze in the coming turns, where Nadu doesn't. Yep, there's Barrogoyf. Does Nadu actually help here? I think I want one in the bank because that gets me closer to popping off. And Keen-Eyed Curator plus Ghost Vacuum could join forces to do some work versus Barrogoyf. I'm going to ponder, though. I have a land drop to hit. Kinda. Alright, well, I've tapped out of Veil of Summer, but I have hit my land drop. Goyf is 4-5. I could make it 3-4. I can't make it any smaller. Goyf's coming in. There's only one sorcery in graveyards. I'll take care of that. Curator can easily become a 7-7 next turn. I'm not sure if that beats Barrogoyf heads up, but I will have a very large creature. They get to mill 3. Hit a Brazen Borrower. That's annoying. There's no window to exile that before it's back in their hand. And they know I have Veil, so they're just going to do it right now. Oh, Psychic Frog. That works too. Do they have the land to do it all? Ah, kinda. Okay, Undercity Sewers. End step. We're back to one sorcery in graveyards. I'll take that one. I'm drawing Uro here. Card that is not that exciting or good. I can also just resolve Nadu with the shields up. Now I have a flying creature. Brainstorm in response. But they would need Force and Daze, or 2 Dazes here, to get through my Nadu. But Nadu is the kind of thing that can overcome a full 2 turns of Barrogoyf plus Psychic Frog value. Okay, we're in there. And I'm going to pass with Veil of Summer available to me. Cycling Troll in the upkeep. That shuffled the Brainstorm. Ponder. That is a new unique card type. Sorceries are the one we're fighting over right now. And Entomb still is in the deck. That is important to note. If we get a game 3, they are on at least partial Reanimator here, even though we see Barrogoyf as well. Marsh Flats didn't play the Swamp that was face up. A Brazen Borrower Swamp, 2 unknowns in the hand. Fatal Push, Nadu gets a trigger. I'm going to let the trigger resolve first. And that's why they fetched. Right, now I'll Veil of Summer. And they can Brazen Borrow in response, or they could just Daze this. I hope they don't have Daze. That would be so easy. I hope they have to Brazen Borrow and give me another trigger if they're gonna try to fight through this like this. Oh wow, that just resolved. I wasn't expecting that. Barrogoyf's coming in. I'm gonna eat the Ponder. They could discard a different sorcery and just make this big again. I might have just opened up Entomb Reanimate on myself. That might have been really bad, actually. I think I was just supposed to take the 1 extra damage. Because they didn't Brazen Borrow when they had the chance. They just milled over Archon. If they've just had a Reanimate rotting in their hand, I am going to eat shit and I deserve it. They picked up the Archon, but that's because they could just discard it to Psychic Frog and protect it from Graveyard Hate for a while. Okay, didn't get fully punished, but that was still pretty bad. Zenith. Did I board out my Bristly Bill? Of course I did. Sure did. There it is. What is in my Zenith package right now? The Curator's already in play. Uro's in my hand. It's just Mana Dorks and Graveyard Bombs. I could play Uro and see what happens here. Yeah, I'll start with that. That's a redraw. I like drawing more cards. We're looking for Nomad. Teferi. It's a step in the right direction. Noble Hierarch. And I am going to pass. Just slowly trying to get control of this, as long as I don't put the shields down too hard. And they didn't attack with Psychic Frog last turn, even though it would have been big enough to kill everything. Okay, they're petty thefting Nadu in the end step. Okay, trigger. Oh, there's Nomad. Well, good to know. But Nadu is bounced. This is a bunch of potential damage. I can chump the Barrogoyf with Noble Hierarch if I don't think I need that next turn. I'm also at 15 life because Uro is just a unit. 1 Uro later. Comfortable life total. There's the Swamp. Other hand is Archon and 2 unknowns. They're 2 mana away from casting Archon. It could happen. Jump the Frog. My job this turn is don't die. If there's a land in the top card of my deck, I could go to Teferi, Nadu, Nomad next turn. The trade-off is I have to let Barrogoyf hit me. I will let Barrogoyf hit me here. Discarded the Archon. There's the +1 damage. If Frog draws a card, Barrogoyf mills 3. It then missed. It was Force, Animate, Dead, Flooded Strand. Yeah, I think I fetch a Surveil land here and try to hit that 7th mana source. I'm going to get Lush Portico. Was looking for a land. We did it. Put that on top. I'm going to exile Animate Dead. That's an enchantment in the graveyard. And begin mounting my comeback to Fairy. And they know what I'm working with. They know I have Nadu and Nomad in hand. Emergency Brainstorm. What they don't know is that I have the 7th mana source ready. But they might be able to deduce it by what I'm doing. Orcish Bowmaster. I think that's fine. It doesn't change anything. Float a white. Okay. Land, fetch. And they didn't flash in Borrower while they still had mana up also. Noteworthy. A green, blue. Just leave a white back for a Nomad. And begin the spamming. Plow. Now any white source is insane. There's the Malanthrope. Right on time. Love to see that. Basic Plains. Let's go. Another Plow. Another Nomad. And Zenith. Okay, so I have this Teferi that hasn't activated yet. I could bounce Bowmasters, just see another card. I could play Nomad for 2 additional activations. I think just having Plowback is what I want to be doing. I could Plow Frog plus Teferi and just ignore these 2. Yeah, I'm going to plus Teferi and pass. Because I can flip another 6 cards on their turn. Does Curator attack here? I don't think so. This is the turn I need to be alive. And that just seems really greedy. The Frog has jumped. I'm going to let them commit to their attacks before I start spamming. Okay, here we go. If I flip an untapped white source, that is a 2nd Plow I could cast. Nadu, Ghost Vacuum, Zenith, Wasteland. 2 more flips here. Another Plow, the 3rd Plow. And Moment of Truth. Okay, we just get the 1 Plow after all. These are both attacking me. I think I'm more worried about Psychic Frog than Barrogoyf. Because Barrogoyf can't get them a Fatal Push. Do I Wasteland here? No, because Keen-Eye Curator is a reason not to do that. Yeah, I think Goyf is just coming through. I go to 5, and I just need to successfully untap here. Goyf whiffed. 3 non-creatures. 3 cards in their hand. The Re-Goyfening. The Refroggening. End of turn, Ghost Vacuum this Archon. Ghost Vacuum is easily at activation mode, by the way. Like, this is a situation where I might have my own 1/1 Archon to play with in the near future. Okay, they've had enough. Cool. That's the overwhelming advantage I'm talking about. So I got hit 4 times with Barrogoyf and twice with Psychic Frog and still ended the game with 11 cards in my hand. An overwhelming advantage. That's the power of Nadu. Do I want William in the deck? Is it better than this Malanthrope? I could see this being a matchup where we go back and forth, but if I have Curator and Vacuum and they have Frog, how often is this Malanthrope actually going to be useful? And Force isn't even in my deck right now. I do think I should change Hierarch for Halfling now that we've confirmed Bowmaster is part of their plan. Yeah, I'm going to get Bill back in and build out my Prince and Zenith package. I'm going to keep my hand. Halfling, Veil, Endurance are all cards I like here. Swamp Go is what they said. Without a Thoughtseize. They are a Wasteland deck, or they can be. They might not necessarily be. I'm going to play my Misty Rainforest and pass. Ghost Vacuum does check Swamp Go, because Entomb is the scariest thing they could do, but I am holding Endurance. And this is the misery of this deck existing. You cannot afford to spend 1 mana, is the problem. I'm going to fetch Tropical Island, and then Endurance this. I could have Veiled first to make sure this is going to work, but if I could save my Veil, that's cool too. I probably shouldn't have fetched. I just kind of didn't figure out my exact sequence before I started playing cards. Not great. Could have just gotten a Hedge Maze here and been like half a card ahead. Whoops. Did not shuffle their Ponder. Okay, do I want a Wasteland? Do I want to I think I just want to play Ghost Vacuum and pass with colored mana up. This sequence gives away the least about what I have or what my options are. A Thoughtseize. I'm going to get Savannah and Veil this. Okay, that just worked. They don't have Daze in their hand. Undercity Sewers. Kept the card. And there's a lot of sorceries in the graveyard this time around. I will start eating them, though. Okay, I'm going to use Wasteland to cast Uro. I'm not going to waste my opponent when they have 3 mana. And now putting in this Misty instead of putting in the Waste represents Plow. Or, this might be even better. Unfortunately, I can't get Tundra to cast Halfling, but I do want to cast Halfling. There's only one Savannah. Maybe I'll just get basic Forest here in case they try to Harbinger me, because that would be real shitty if that happened. And this gives me uncounterable Uro next turn. All right, that's gone. That's fine. We made them have it. Hey, look at this. I mean, still, it's not ideal for my situation, but heads up moment of thinking about that. It's not a complete blowout. I'm going to continue attacking the sorceries in the graveyard. We are down to one of those. Okay, Brainstorm. I need big things out of you here. Nadu is pretty big. I can't cast these plows anyway, but they will be really good if I set myself free. But if I set myself free, I'm going to cast Nomad. Just looking for my basic blades. Gotta shuffle almost anything else. Another Ponder. Keep it going. Dryad Arbor. Yeah, 2 white cards and another island. Shuffle that. Another Ghost Vacuum. All right, double up, squad. Okay, Harbinger is happening. I can cast Nadu. There's a basic plains in my deck somewhere. Psychic Frog's going to make this a lot harder. Harbinger's going in. Exile push, exile reanimate. This will make it harder for their frog to fly. Nadu. Just park a big old bus into play. I think I'm going to start eating my creatures with a Ghost Vacuum because I'm 1 mana away from popping one of them. And then if I do that, I could have a Halfling in play and set up a multi-turn line to get access to Uro. I'm not willing to chump with Nadu, unfortunately. Or trade Nadu for their whole hand, but then they have Frog sitting in play. I'm so close here. That makes things worse. I'm going to exile their Brainstorm and my Delighted Halfling. Plains. Ugh. Okay. Well, we're in the pain zone. I can't afford to make Barrogoyf any smaller, because that would tap out both vacuums. There are 2 creatures and 2 sorceries in graveyards. A discarded Reanimate. That doesn't change anything except the power on board. Yeah, I think if I had thought about Harbinger 1 turn earlier, this game would be trivial, but I didn't. Oh no, they found Bowmaster. That's good. That beats my plan to put a Delighted Halfling into play with Ghost Vacuum. Just gotta rip the plains. It's easy. I'm gonna eat 2 sorceries in the end step. I don't want to exile Uro. Okay, I mean, they have this Bowmaster, but if I find the plains, it's worth it. You got me. Please target Nadu. Coward. Ponder. Zenith gets Bill, but I don't have a land to play. I do have a Halfling in my deck. I don't think I have time to deploy that anymore. Curator? Are you helpful here? If I Zenith for Curator, I'll have 1 mana left over. That doesn't sound useful. I could Zenith for Endurance, target myself, and make the graveyards all nothing. That slows down Barrogoyf. I wish we had a Moloch in the deck. Something that could kill something. Do I have time to get this Halfling from my deck? There's 1 more mana dork in here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, Goyf plus Frog together are already lethal. Yeah, I think I'm gonna Zenith for a Endurance. And then just probably die to Daze. Endurance, target myself. This brings Barrogoyf down to a represented 0, because I could tap my Ghost Vacuums. They can discard cards to their Frog. But this is a creature that can actually tangle with Barrowgoyf and win. And step Petty Theft, targeting Endurance. Does that kill me? Probably. If they attack with everything, I have to block Frog or I lose. And I might still lose depending on what the creatures are, or cards are in their hand. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess I just have to block Barrowgoyf. Though, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I'm going to block Orc Army and try to have Nadu in play for one more turn. If they have the correct things to discard, none of this will matter. Another Bowmaster. Does that win? They could kill Nadu if they want to give me a flip. They want face. Discarded Bloodstained Mire and Animate Dead. Okay, so this is 8, 9. I can exile. These are all unique card types. Exile Animate Dead and Bloodstained Mire. It's kind of hard to get a land in the graveyard right now. I got a 1. Okay, I'm at 1. And Basic Plains, save me now. They whiffed on Goyf. Basic Plains has a lot of work to do here. I don't even know if that saves me. Basic Plains. Green Sun Zenith. We just did this. There is nothing that Green Sun Zenith could get. Okay, so I didn't think about Harbinger quick enough. I thought about it in time to get this forest, and I got a mana dork that would have cast Uro. However, if I had just fetched a basic Plains earlier, but I was building up to Uro the whole time, so I don't even know if that would have helped. But yeah, GG. Locked out by that one. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 2. I am going to keep my hand. And this is interesting because I could just shove Nomad into play, stake a claim on the universe. I could Zenith for Arbor and build out my resources, then use Brainstorm to bring it all together. Chancellor of the Annex. Okay, well, we're playing against either a Turbo Reanimator deck or some throwback build of Initiative Stompy. Probably Reanimator, if we're being honest. Okay, how do I beat Chancellor of the Annex? Probably just don't, but I'll pass the turn. I'm not going to let them counter a spell for free. I could pay 2 for Brainstorm if I get a turn next turn. Oh, wow. So they're on the keep Chancellor, go to discard 2 turns from now plan. Hope I can punish this. Ooh, okay. All right, Halfling, pay the extra. The ramp here matters a lot because now I could Zenith for the Raccoon and leave a mana up. Based on how last turn went. Oh no. Well, this is worse. I was about to say based on how last turn went, I expect them to just discard a card here in their end step. But whatever critical mass of mana they were missing, like maybe they needed 2 petals, maybe they needed 3 rituals. Whatever was missing, they found on this draw step. Are they going to cast an Archon here? That would be so insulting to me, personally, as a person. Beseech the Mirror. Okay, so they're a Storm deck. I was fooled. Necrodom. Oh my goodness. Is this some, like, new cheesy build of this terrible deck? Alright, well, go for it. They're going to pay 19 and try to go off at instant speed, and this usually works, but I have seen it fail before. I cannot recommend playing this deck in any tournament you care about, though it is exciting when it works. They've exiled 5 Spirit Guides, Anamorphose. They're looking for the Born Upon a Wind. If they have the Born, now it should be pretty trivial for them to win. A 6th Spirit Guide. That'll beseech. This can get Tendrils, and then we're done. Okay, they force checked me on turn 3, and I just didn't have it. Okay, that's fine. Now we know what's going on. Force of Negation is very good. Force of Vigor is very good. Consigned to Memory. Outland Liberator, Collector Oof, Veil of Summer. These are all cards I want. Swords to Plowshares doesn't matter. Bristly Bill, Endurance. They literally can't beat Teferi. I want my blue cards to support my 6 forces. Curator doesn't matter. Nomad is a later problem. Like I could, if I fend off their win, I can win with whatever's left. I do like the mana acceleration. Okay, I'll do it like this. We know the matchup now. Sad. I like the Consign. Well, Consign's just Time Walk. It doesn't actually beat them. I'm going to mulligan this. It doesn't do enough. Okay, well, I am going to keep this. We've got triple force, triple blue card. I'm going to bottom Delighted Halfling and just pass the turn. This is one of those extremes of experience that exists in Eternal formats where a hand like this might not be the worst thing you could do. I do need a land to win. Gemstone Mine. Oh, I must have just misclicked turn 1. My bad, LOL. I had this the whole time. My hand is in 3 forces. But if I'm not doing anything, they could take time sculpting. Oh, a Wasteland. I'm going to use that. This deck barely plays mana. Or it plays a lot of mana, but initial mana sources. Let's squeeze them. Now they have 8 cards in hand. Close to going to discard. I wonder if my opponent actually thinks that I just accidentally clicked through my first turn at this point because I've hit land drops 3 turns in a row. They either think I misclicked turn 1 or they're tilting off because of how lucky I am, which is reasonable. Nomads. I'm not going to brainstorm yet because that's my 3rd force. And Dryad Arbor, every point matters because they pay down to 1 life when they go off. And then being a card shorter than they think they need to be. Okay, Xantid Swarm's actually a problem. Force pitching Nadu. Okay, that was a 2 for 2. Ponder. White mana, let's go. I wish I could play this Nomad and keep the Nadu on top. But I do want to play the Nomad. Like I was saying, every damage is cards they can't draw. And every card matters. And if I get this Teferi down, I think it's over. They're passing back. Lush Portico. Alright, Teferi's on the stack. They didn't respond to it. In a Savannah. Yeah, okay. Literally dead to that. Cool. Alright, now they're on the play, where it gets a little worse. And they don't know if I kept that hand on the strength of 1 force or 3. I only had to use 1 before they packed it. I guess if I have a lot of mana. I brought in Consign because it can counter the draw half your deck trigger once, and then you get a turn to operate. But it can also counter the Tendrils trigger. I would want a bunch of mana available to do that, though, because they have most of their deck in their hand, and I don't want to lose to, like, quad Pactum Negation. Malanthrope is not good, but it is blue and green. If I think it's better than, like, Delighted Halfling or Nomad's Encore. I think I want the Halfling. I'm going to shave another Nomad, just add a blue card to the deck. Okay, I mean, force blue card, Veil of Summer. If I get a turn, I'll try it. Opponent kept 7 as well. How fast are we jamming here? Dark Ritual. Force pitch Nadu. Do they have the Pact? They do. Okay. Well, we've lost. Maybe. We'll see if their fail rate hits. On the play, we win that. We Veil the Pact, and then it's over. But, you know, play draw. And losing game 1, which is very likely to happen. It is thrilling to watch just the mountain of Spirit Guides get pitched after they draw after their deck. That's fun. Dark Ritual, Summoner's Pact for a Spirit Guide. There's the Born. That should do it. Another Pact for another Spirit Guide. The construction of this deck is a thing of delight. Even if I think the deck's bad, which I do, it is awesome that this exists in the format, and if this deck was good, it would be horrific for the format, but this deck is totally fine to exist. I like it. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Receivables has it at youtube.com/thereceivables. I am on the play in round 3. I'm going to keep my hand with a turn 2 uncounterable Nadu. Do I get Basic Forest and try to play around Wasteland, or do I get Savannah and try to get my colors? I'm going to get Savannah. If they're going to waste me underneath a mana dork, I think that play is reckless, and I hope I can punish it. Your own Savannah, the mirror match. Wow, alright. Well, in that case, I will waste you. Wasteland this, get Dryad Arbor, and we're back to presenting Nadu. It's basically turn 1 all over again, except now there's cards in the graveyards. Windswept Heath. A Plains. A Vexing Bauble. Interesting. What deck has all these cards that we've seen in it? Is some Urza Saga something or other? I don't actually know what we're playing against right now. Is Lands playing Vexing Bauble? Why would they do that? I guess I could see it out of Green-White depths, but they don't care about Force of Will. They're worried about Swords of Plowshares and Wasteland. I'm not sure what this is. Even a deck like Turbo Depths wants its own Lotus Petals and stuff. Okay. Maybe it is clearly a Nadu deck. Can I find a Nomad this turn? I got 5 looks. Teferi is interesting. Zenith gets William. Okay. Oh, I don't have blue. I have to shuffle away that Zenith anyway. Whoops. Okay, it's fine. Drop. Teferi. Set you back. Knowing that they're a Nadu deck, a more combo-focused Nadu deck, because they have Springheart, Nantuko, and Vexing Bauble, I probably feel structurally disadvantaged for the matchup, but I am currently doing stuff. But I am running out of stuff to do. Yeah, last turn I thought I could keep that Zenith on top and play Teferi, but obviously that's not right. Inquisition. We're probably losing endurance here. Okay, Mardu Nadu? Is it Nadu? Is this 4-color Nadu? Is that a thing? Okay, I'm going to pump the brakes here, so they can't just swarm beat Teferi. I can Hardcast Force, which is pretty exciting, and they just saw my hand. A Wasteland. That takes me off Force and kills one of my creatures, but if they target Dryad Arbor, I get a Nadu flip. And anything they would natural order for is probably worse second main. I'm going to counter this Knight of the Reliquary. That just seems like the payoff they've been waiting for. This Wasteland can take me off white. I only have 1 white source. Now Nomad's not even a live draw. Oh, come on. Nadu flooded. Playing the second Nadu doesn't really do anything here. I could attack for 3, then play the second Nadu and just like discard a card to give it vigilance. Not how I want to play the game. And we are falling behind. Abrupt Decay targeting Nadu. Okay. They know I'm holding another one of those. That's an interesting decision. This does let them wreck Teferi. Ooh, Zenith. Well, that's good. I plus Teferi. Do I play anything that could save me? No, I could just get, like, the last Nadu out of the deck in combat. I don't play a Safekeeper. Okay, they're wasting Dryad Arbor instead of my white source. I like that. I think I want Bristly Bill off this Zenith. The Nantuko's getting into, they're valuing killing Teferi over their Nantuko, because all of this was face up. I think it's Bill. Eat your Nantuko, I lose Teferi. Land is a good draw now. Nomad's a good draw now. You're saying there's a chance. Land drop, target, Bill. I'm targeting Bill first, because I think if they have a plow, they're going to go after Nadu. Flip to Force, let's go. Fetch. I think I want to get Lush Portico. And I'm going to Surveil before I flip. I would like to keep that land there. That's just another flip. Target Nadu. Brainstorm in the grip. Okay. That was a good turn. And I'm passing with Force of Will up. I could Brainstorm here to try to hit Nomad, or I could just leave my handful of cards and dominating board position. Because we've seen Inquisition of Kozilek in their deck. If I Brainstorm, don't find a blue card, Inquisition could take me off Force blue card. But it doesn't have to. I think they'll be dead before they play the Sylvan Library. Or before they could use it. I don't want to fight over Reclaimer either. Just going to try to bust this turn. Brainstorm. I do need Brainstorm to do some work here. And it mostly did. Put back the 4th Nadu. And the other one. I'm going to fetch. Or play the fetch, target Nadu. In response, fetch. Because I don't want to draw these other Nadus. Get Hedge Maze. Target Nadu. Surveil first. Burrow could go into the graveyard. That's where I want it. Another Nadu flip. Hit a land, hit a fetch land even, target Bill. Hit another land, target Bill. Hit another land, target Nadu. I'm pretty close to just winning here. I guess I could have just piled the damage onto Nadu. Oh, I could activate Bill. We're fine. We're fine. Finding the lines here. Clumsily, but it's happening. Double the +1 counters on each creature you control. And attack for 25. We're playing against a Mardu Depths deck. Or, this is Abzan, sorry. I said Mardu earlier. This Abzan Depths with Springheart and Antuco. I want my removal things. Graveyard Hate is kind of okay. If they try to waste lock me, Ramanup's fine, but I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I have a lot of dorks and mana. I'm not bringing in Ramanup. Though, Ramanup plus one of my 2 Wastelands is good against a Dark Depth strategy, if that's what they're going for. We saw some discard where Veil of Summer could be reasonable. Vexing Bauble is rough. Maybe I cut some forces. Is this one where Malanthrope's actually good? Maybe. I don't want the nickel and dime Graveyard Hate. I want the big stuff that shrinks Reclaimers and Knights, which I think is what I want to be doing. Yeah, I think on the draw, after seeing Vexing Bauble, I want to back off of Force of Will. I'll try it like this on the draw, and then maybe go back the other way on the play. I feel like I just got to do my thing here. It's a reasonable path to the thing. Opponent's on 6. Scrubland. Source of Plowshare is a great find. I think I'll put Endurance in my hand and Brainstorm on top of the deck, and then shuffle away that other land. Things I have to think about here are Bowmaster. They might have something like Opposition Agent. I don't know what they're doing. And Tuco. I guess the last game we did see Springheart and Tuco and Sylvan Library, so I probably coulda, shoulda made a better plan and got my, there's a Force of Vigor and a Outland Liberator in here. Okay, those should be in. If there's a game 3, I'll have them. I'm gonna plow this and then Zenith. It just gives me the most resources to work with. That Zenith, it was my path to Nadu, but it's back in the deck somewhere. I got a lot of cantrips. Grist the Hunger Tide. I'm glad they didn't play Choke there. It's been a long time since I had to play against a Choke, and I don't want to do that now. Okay. I think I just want to get a little aggro here. Bristly Bill. Fetch land. Target Dryad Arbor. Fetch. Get another Tundra. Yeah, I have Basic Forest in my hand. Dryad Arbor. Ponder. Wasteland Ramanap. I mean, this is a plan I developed here. Okay, do not shuffle that. And now they can either chump with their thing that they could use to kill a creature with Grist, or Grist goes to 1 where they don't have enough to use it. Marsh Flats. Liliana. That's big. I'm going to lose Bill here. I think the mana is worth more. Another bug. My top card is Uro. I'm going to attack Grist. That will cost them a bug. I might actually want to Brainstorm into Uro here. I think maybe I was supposed to stack it the other way last turn. I could also like Wasteland and hold up Endurance. Discard Forest to the Liliana because Ramanup's going to hit all my future land drops. Okay, I'm going to Wasteland and hold up Endurance. I'm going to let this fetch resolve. Mortuary. They've got 2 cards over there. I think I want to waste now, and I'm going to start attacking their white sources. Grist makes a bug. Build a Sylvan Library. Another Mortuary from hand. Dumped an Inquisition. This is where I discard my Forest. This is how we drew it up. Oh shit. I can't cast Endurance like this. Wow. Man, I'm trying to do too much. My brain is... Okay. Instead of attacking with 2 things this turn, I will attack with none. Okay. I will attack Grist. Yeah, because Grist can kill one of my creatures and stay alive, where Liliana cannot do that. Well, that was a mess. Not happy with that exchange, and it's my own stupid fault. Okay, I'm going to get a Windswept Heath out here. What a disaster. Yeah, they should either have no creatures or only 1 Planeswalker right now, and my bad. Got ahead of myself on the Wasteland. The play was play the basic forest, discard the Wasteland. Okay, lose Dried Arbor here. They are willing to delete Liliana to take care of everything, which is certainly correct. Wasteland? Okay. 1 card left over there. I'm going to get my Hedge Maze. Nadu. Put that right on top. Nadu flies. This is a clean exchange with Grist, even if it pluses. If their 1 card in hand is a removal spell, I get a 2-for-1 out of the deal, and they're Hellbent. Knight of the Reliquary. Okay, I've been sitting on this Endurance forever. Caracas probably is the thing they sandbagged. It does, air quotes, answer Nadu, insofar as it stabilizes, it like lets you keep Grist, but I do get to draw cards. I'm not going to play that land yet. That Grist. Let's force the issue here. Trigger. There's Teferi. I like that. That buys me a turn versus this Knight, even though it does die to the bug immediately. I'm going to play Teferi, leaving up a white in case I spike a Swords to Plowshares or a Prismatic Ending. Yo. Is having Teferi worth more than clearing the Knight or the Grist? It's not. Okay. I'll let Teferi die. He did his job. Almost freaked out there and made a play that was bad. They will simply replace that insect and continue moving forward, but if I could take out Knight or Grist, those are real cards. Teferi's down. Knight's back. Knight and white. A Force is not in my deck. Plus Grist. Actually hit an insect. Powerful. Springheart and Antuco going off with Grist. Nomad? Oh, Plow. Plow is not bad. I think I'm going to brainstorm here and see if I could come up with a really big turn or plan multiple turns ahead. A Halfling's good. Trop isn't. And I'm not much of a believer in Uro right now with that Caracas right there. Okay. I have to spend all my mana because of Prismatic Ending. You get another Trop. We've got, or no, I could sequence this. I could give them more life to spend less mana. That is, I think, the right thing to do. Plow that one. End this one. Play Halfling. And they're back to top deck mode. They know I'm holding Nadu, or they think I do. I've cast Brainstorm since then, but they do know that I had a Nadu at one point this game. They are sacking a bug to kill my Halfling. Yeah, I mean, the Halfling was bricking their entire bug army. 1-2, powerful stats. Wasteland. This doesn't let me double spell. It does kill Caracas, though. That's big. Caracas. Play Nadu. If they want to sack Grist, once and for all, to let me flip a card with Nadu, and then Endurance cleans up the game, I can play that. Well, Endurance is not going to clean up the game. What's your last card? If it's really good, I'm in trouble. If it's like Swords to Plowshares or Abrupt Decay, and Grist remains, this could be a problem. Pick your poison. Wow, that's so much better than either of the cards that I said. Okay, now I am slowly losing to Grist. Grist is so good. I am just going to play out my land. We've seen Liliana. And it's going to win pretty quick. Grist goes ultimate at 5. Dump Uro directly into the graveyard. One outer. Nadu. It is an upper median hit there. My best hit was probably something like Uro directly or Zenith for Uro. Oh god, Sylvan Library at 27 life. Okay. Metamorphosis Fanatic revealed. More of their deck is being shown to me here. And they have 3 creature cards in the graveyard. I'm actually just dead. I'm not going to reveal the Nadu. Okay, well, that was a beating brought to you entirely by me miscounting what colors of mana I had access to. That's okay, though. Force of Vigor and Outland Liberator, Sylvan Library, and Springheart and Tuco are parts of the deck. Thoughtseize, Abrupt Decay, Grist. All right, I'm higher on Veil of Summer than I was. I thought this was, after game 1, like green-white depths with a small black splash, but it is much blacker than I thought it was. And we saw Metamorphosis Fanatic, but I have 2 Endurances and Curator in already. I don't think I want the Vacuums as well. I mean, Malanthrope might actually be insane here. Is Teferi actually good? Opponent didn't seem to have a lot of instants. Maybe Force of Vigor is too much, but just having Outland Liberator in the deck to own the libs out of a Green Sun Zenith if I need to do that. Guess I could cut Halfling if I'm just upping my critical mass of high impact cards. Alright, I'll try this. Pretty bad versus Wasteland, but Island Ponder. We have rules we follow in this house. Just throw me 3 lands off this Ponder. Close enough. Okay, that was Land Noble Hierarch, Bristly Bill. So even if they wasteland me here, I can go Land Hierarch and be back ahead. And they do have the waste. I'm going to go Trop Hierarch. I'm not backing down from the wastelands. I want my colors to work. I guess Savannah Hierarch would have been better. Yeah, Savannah would have been so much smarter than that. What am I doing? It was correct not to play around Wasteland, but didn't quite nail it here. They took Outland Liberator. That is the one that would have let me have a clean double spell this turn. Never punished. I'm going to get just all these into play. I want to flood the board a little bit. Things like Liliana and Grist are weak to massive board states like this. If they do have a Toxic Deluge, I'm making it much worse for myself, but I didn't see that card last game. And I'm in position to obliterate if I draw a Nadu or a Zenith. Thoughts using my Prismatic Ending. They knew that was the only card in my hand. Alright, deck. 8 outs here to crush. That wasn't any of them. Attack for 2. Okay, if they have a Toxic Deluge, it's over. Basic land party over there. Zenith for 2. Did they have a Moloch? Keen-Eyed Curator. Going straight to 7/7 mode. Can I draw a Nadu? Please, deck, Nadu, please. Alright. No love today. And I have no attacks. Exiling a sorcery. If they just play a land and exile 4 things. Okay. They just had Bajuka Bog but wanted to bank a sorcery. You have your own sorceries. Eat my creature. Library. Okay. Nadu right now, please. Nadu, Prismatic Ending, Ponder Brainstorm to dig for Nadu. Green Sun Zenith. Drawing very live here. Big draws? No. So many dorks. I'm just going to play out the Trop. We've seen Thoughtseizes, but we've also seen Liliana, and this is what I got to work with. I will immediately flip my deck if I draw a Nadu with this many creatures around, but now they have Sylvan Library going. They have the biggest creature in play. Gilded Goose. Okay, every turn for the rest of the time, I just want Nadu, a path to Nadu, or more looks at Nadu. Hey, that's Nadu. Okay, do I win on the spot? If they could kill both Nomads in response to Nadu on the stack, that works, but they got a lot of work to do. And damage-based removal like Orcish Bowmaster doesn't work, because I'll just move the damage onto Halfling. They need, like, plow and push right now. We're in. Start flipping. Tundra. Prismatic Ending. Ponder. Endurance. Wasteland. Zenith. Forest. Brainstorm. Plow. Hurrow. Misty Rainforest. And my last target for now is a Windswept Heath. Okay. Plow this Curator. End the library. Don't want you digging out of this. Plowing Nadu in response. That's fine. That's actually, like, really good for me. Because now I can Zenith for another Nadu. And just go again. Plains. Zenith for 3. Another Nadu. That does reset, by the way. Lit. Lit. Okay, cool. We did it. It was dicey for a while, but that did show both the strength and weakness of the deck. The weakness is that Nomads and Core and Delighted Halfling and Dryad Arbor are bad magic cards on their own. The strength is that the second you find Nadu to pair with those, it is over by a mile. On to the next one. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. If you're having fun, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to sign up for shop.3frontrading.com's Black Friday sale, November 27th through December 2nd. I'm on the play for round 4, have to mulligan this no-lander. I will keep this hand. And I think I'm going to bottom one of the forces. I can pitch Brainstorm if I do need to pitch something. But the upside of turn 2 Curator on the play with Force backup is pretty high against a lot of the metagame. The bottom there was either Force or Curator. A Bloodstained Mire. Hopefully that's indicative I made the right choice. Mountain. Weird. Who fetches a mountain? Lightning Bolt in 2024. Okay, I'm excited. What are we doing here? What's going on? Tell me more. Would you like to know more? I would. I'm just going to get this 3/3 into play. If their next play is Goblin Guide or Eidolon of the Great Revel, I just want the bigger creature in play. Raucous Theater. This could also be like a... Oh, is it just Painter? I was getting so excited for all the things it could be. It's probably just Painter. I'm not going to fight over that. I think Brainstorm is better. Oh. Well, there's that one. I'm going to Brainstorm now while they can't counter it. Put back Force and Tundra. Windswept Teeth, Delighted Halfling. Attack for 3. I'm just going to fetch a Tundra now. So round out my colors, and that way they can't bolt in response to me fetching if I need to attack their graveyard this turn. Welder. I'm going to get rid of this Dragon Engine, which does count for 2 types of Delirium. Let's Force of Will's back, Motobug. I could just bash for 7. So that line starts with Ponder. I'm going to cast Ponder. Brainstorm, Dryad Arbor, Misty Rainforest. I do have a land drop to make. I don't hate a Brainstorm. I'm going to attack with Curator. Exile Lightning Bolt and land. This is a 7/7 that's going to be really hard for them to kill. And really hard for them to function through. I wish this Force of Will was online, but I don't hate my spot. Okay, Force of Will's online. Emergency Bobble. Scoop. Nice. All right. Raccoon Buddy, coast to coast. We're playing against some sort of red-black build of Painter or some artifact combo. It might be something more into me like Agatha's Soul Cauldron, but I like Prismatic Ending. I don't like Force of Will versus Painter, even though they're a combo deck. They have Red Blast and Vexing Baubles. Force of Vigor you can hardcast a lot easier than Force of Will, and it doesn't worry about Red Blast. Outland Liberator, Collector Oof are things I want. Teferi's a little wonky. Blue card problem. If I knew more about their list, Consign to Memory, obviously it counters artifacts pretty well, but if they're more of a Reanimator deck that just happens to use Goblin Welder, then Consign might not be that good. Ghost Vacuum steps on my own Collector Oof. I'll try this build. Selesnya mid-range with a small blue splash. I was so excited when they played that Lightning Bolt. That was weird. That feels like such a quaint little card from Legacy's past. Opponent kept 7. Raucous Theater. Kept the card. I'm going to play Lush Portico. And do I want a Savannah? I don't hate a Savannah. I am going to keep that. I got a lot of white cards I want to cast here. Double Nomad and the path straight to Nadu. Yeah, getting mooned here was the nightmare scenario. Got some work to do, I guess. I did think about Moon, both in terms of playing the Windswept Teeth or playing the Swords of Plowshares. I just thought I'd have a turn to figure it out, but this Ancient Tomb got me. I do have Plains and Forest in my deck, if I can be super lucky and rip one of them. But it looks bad. This was so avoidable. That was just greedy of me. And I don't think that's hindsight talking. I think that's just... I literally had Windswept Teeth in my hand and Plow and could have completely just blown out this line. Whoops. I hope their hand's full of black cards. Come on, Plains. Wasteland, sick. I got 7 more draw steps this game. Magus Beats. They didn't play a land. Their hand is 6 spells. None of them apparently worth casting. My hand is 7 spells, but I haven't missed a land drop yet. I guess the Moon is so much worse than Harbinger of the Seas for me, too, because even like Ponder and Brainstorm don't get the additional digs. The OG stunting on the original. Painter. Uh-oh. Okay, they did paint it blue, which means that they could Red Blast Swords of Plowshares even if I get there. Okay. I don't want to play anymore. Okay. Chased by a Blood Moon in a game that absolutely did not need to happen. Embarrassing, but shrug it off. Next game is coming. I'm on the play this time. I still like this plan. I just need to execute it better. Okay. Keep. I'm going to fetch Basic Forest, Zenith for Arbor. Next turn, play Uro, drop a land in, and hopefully Prismatic Ending something. And then I have Ponder and Prismatic Ending to dig, or no, I use the ending. I have Ponder plus 3 cards that I don't know yet to then make a plan after that point. Hey, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Bloodstained Mire, okay. Okay. Now I could fetch all my basics forever. But I have to start with blue, because that's how Uro works. And they can decide if they want to Red Blast the front of an Uro. They did not do that. Now all my basics are set up. I am going to wuss out and not play Ponder here. Raucous Theater. Dumped a Bloodstained Mire. Alright, Urza Saga. That's the opposite of Blood Moon. And I'm going to fetch Hedge Maze here and just try to turbo out Uro. Dump Misty Rainforest. Oh, I drew Basic Plains straight up. Cool. Fetch a Tundra. I think I want to Ponder first. Nadu, interesting. Nadu and Ponder in here. Okay, this Uro is running directly into Red Blast. And I have the option to wait a turn. And then if they Red Blast, then they don't get Saga. But they just didn't do anything instead. Ponder. I'm just shoving it all here. Well, there's Nomad Nadu all off basic starting next turn. And Uro just resolved. Turn 3 Uro, just permanent mode in play, is pretty powerful. If they play Painter this turn and protect that with a Red Blast, they can tutor Grindstone the turn after. Okay, that didn't happen. I'm just going to go to combat with Uro first. And I'm going to use the Uro trigger to hit this land drop. That way, if I find another land later, I could still play it the old-fashioned way. Ponder. Start there. That Swords of Plowshares is very good. Okay, don't shuffle. Do play Nadu. Leave up enough white to still plow next turn. Moment of Truth. Cool. All right. Run them over. They just had no resistance. I assume I'm dead next turn. Like maybe they tutor Grindstone, play Painter, fast mana activate it. Or else, what was the plan here? Because they really just played 3 lands and conceded. Okay, on to the final round. I'm on the play in the final round. Positive record hangs in the balance. I'm going to keep this hand that has turn 2 Uro. And hope this matchup is about value, because that's what I can offer. Drop Zenith. Oh no! It's in my... shit. If I was playing anywhere else, I would just hit the reset button. Yeah, it just streamer brain. Yeah, it turns out Greenstone Zenith is not literally a mana dork. You do need the Dried Arbor in your deck. That was abysmal. It's fine. It's fine. I make mistakes. Opponent's got an island. This is something I work on with my coaching clients all the time, though. If you make a mistake, you can spiral out and just play bad and be on tilt forever. Or you can, so what, now what? That happened. Now what do we do with the resources we do have? And what I'm going to do is play Magic like I didn't just discard a card for no reason. Ponder. Zenith, Zenith, Portico. I kind of like having 2 Zeniths. I'm going to bin the Portico in between the 2 Zeniths. And then I can Uro next turn. Start pulling ahead, I hope. Put the Dried Arbor into play. Wink at my opponent. Finger guns. Basic Island, Ponder, Windswept Heath, go. Is this a mirror match? What are we doing? I love the wild and free feeling of just shoving Uro onto the stack. You don't care if it gets countered. You don't care if they kill it. It's very likely to just be all upside for you. What a magic card. I'm going to ponder off of this Tundra now. Delighted Halfling and Bristly William. I don't mind having access to these cards, as I have 2 shots at Nadu here, and Bill gives me something that targets them. Another Ponder and another Bant-colored fetch land. Okay, mirror match confirmed. I'm something of a Delighted Halfling myself. Also, Bristly Bill. Dried Arbor. Trigger. Yeah, it wasn't a misclick. I just had it in my hand. Opponent said, oh no, misclick in the chat when my Zenith didn't do anything. That is the charitable interpretation. Here's Meticulous Archive, so this is not the same build at least, because I don't have that card in my deck. Brainstorm. The next mana they spend this turn means I'm not getting Nadu'd. They need 4 to go Nomad plus Nadu here, and they just spent 1 of their 4, which means they don't have all the pieces yet. Legendary white mana. This is Teferi. It is Teferi. Bouncing my Dryad Arbor is effective here. Delighted Halfling. Delighted Halfling's a nice distraction because the spell in my hand is not actually a legend. They bounced William. That's pretty smart. I'm drawing a fetch land. I could just cast Uro out of the graveyard here. I'm going to play an uncounterable Bill and then Zenith for 3. They can counter this. They can also plow Bill in response. William! Is there a smarter pivot here, or do we just put Nadu into play? I guess we just put Nadu into play. And Bill is in exile now, so I can play this fetch land. And that might be the ball game if they have what they need over there. If that was a setup turn and not a dig for the combo turn, plus Teferi, they know their stuff's going to work. A legendary blue and green thing. What could this be? Nadu confirmed. And they're getting at least 12 flips before I can do anything. Oh, they put white in the pool, and I assumed the worst. But it was just a Swords to Plowshares. Okay. Okay. We're still alive. All right, well, that was a huge relief. My Lush Portico's already spent. There's nothing to surveil here. I'll just go to my draw step. Nomad. Zenith again. I'm going to Brainstorm. This is not helpful. I don't need Endurance, and I don't need land. I'll fetch. I know Uro's in the graveyard. I haven't forgotten he's there. I can Brainstorm one more time before I'm out of action this turn. Green, green, blue, blue. All right, yeah, the Tundra works. Okay, there's a Nadu straight up. I've already made my land drop. Okay, Uro, you're in, buddy. Green. I need blue out of this one. Blue, green, blue. Uncounterable Uro coming in. And this will hit a land drop. And then allow me to fetch and shuffle my Brainstorm. Is there a 1-drop I want a Zenith for right now? Could grab a backup Halfling. I am holding Nadu. All right, Zenith for 1. Might as well get these lower quality draws out of the deck. Re-Halfling and pass. They didn't have Nomad last turn, or else it would have happened. Let's see what happens now. They could Zenith for Bill and bank this fetch land. Not fetching in the end step kind of tells that story. Okay, they played Misty Rainforest, which they wouldn't do if they were going to Bristly Bill this turn. Nadu's getting in. Certainly not blocking, that's for sure. Okay, I'm getting another turn. Something's happening in my upkeep. Orim's Chant. Con Queso. Alright, well, I can't attack or play spells. That's pretty good. I mean, not really. It's like fine, I guess. It buys them 1 turn of me not doing anything, but that's not what they wanted to do. That's also a weird card to have in non-breakfast builds of Nadu. Oh, there we go. The Dread Return. The story is coming together. Okay. More information is gained here. Now we know what we're actually playing against. 2 cards in hand. Now I'm even more scared of Nomad. We weren't beating just draw 12, but we're definitely not beating draw 12, where they could also immediately convert it into a win. And we have found a spot where that weirdo in the sideboard, Malanthrope, does matter, because Dread Return is currently in their graveyard, and that's part of their combo. If that's exiled, that's a thing I don't need to think about anymore. If it's just Enduranced back in, then they can mill out and find it again. So that matters a little bit. And I do have Zenith, which could get one or the other of those things. Okay, it's my turn. I'm going to attack Teferi with everything. Or I guess I don't need everything. I need... Oh yeah, because it's at 4. Attack Teferi with everything. Because if I unlock this Force of Will and Swords to Plowshares, life gets way better. No blocks were made. Now even a removal spell doesn't matter. And they didn't Zenith. Okay. 2 cards over there. I'm going to ponder. They might be at the phase of the game where they're just aggressively forcing ponders, like Hardcast Force, but that didn't happen, so dodged that fate for now. If I put Brainstorm in my hand, it lets me Zenith without putting down the Force of Will shield. I think I like that. Brainstorm in, Zenith for Curator. X equals 2. I wouldn't be surprised to see a counterspell on this. Okay. Is this worth a force to me? I can plow Nadu in response to... Yeah. I can plow Nadu in response to a Nomad, and if this Curator's in play, I'm not worried about the other parts of the deck. Yeah, I'm just going to pass with this Omi up. And even if they have a removal spell before they start going off, I clip the Dread Return, and that at least sets them back a turn. I'm glad I spent the Force when I did, because they immediately came up with Teferi here. I'm going to plow Nadu. I just want it gone while I have a say in the matter. They flipped a Flooded Strand. That's pretty low impact. Nadu's gone. Teferi's in. Bouncing Uro makes sense. That's the thing causing the most trouble. And a fresh Nadu. Disappointing, but not unsurprising. I'm going to exile Dread Return in the end step. Just check that box. Opponent has 1 card in hand right now. I'm going to play an uncounterable Uro. Probably didn't need to make it uncounterable, but Halfling doesn't tap for real mana. I don't have instants in my hand, which means I'm not worried about Teferi immediately. I could just start going face this turn, or I could redeploy Uro. I think I attack with Keen-Eyed Curator first, because this can definitely get Delirium, and they're not going to jump with Nadu. So let me get my 3 damage through, and then I'll tap low and play Uro. Can I get them dead in 2 hits? All right, I am going to attack them. If the last card in hand is Swords to Plowshares, they got me. All right, yep, my 3 damage just goes through. And Uro's coming back. Trigger this thing fully halfway through my deck. Maybe I was supposed to attack Teferi. Yeah, if I'm not going to go for the 7 and try to close it in 2 turns, I think I was just supposed to chip shot Teferi there. That was loose. Now I have this Force that I can't play. If they draw a Nomad right now and win, it's my own fault. Not the tightest league I've ever played, safe to say, across the board here. The deck's really powerful though, and doing a lot of heavy lifting, but imagine if I was also playing well, what we would be capable of. I'm going to get a Planeswalker into the Delirium hole here, the Raccoon bag. Okay, I am going to attack Teferi this time, and I'm going to attack them with Uro. 7/7 Trample does what I needed to here. And now that I have Force, my incentives are different. Okay, they're going for a block, which is a polite way of them asking me to spend 2 mana. Exile a instant and a land, and then we are Crazy Raccoon mode. Or are they sandbagging a removal spell? Did they get me? They said in the chat, oh right, this tramples, I should read the cards. Okay, we're even from my turn 1. Okay, now I could put a Nadu into play. Blue, green, Nadu. I can hardcast Force, and they still can't go off through the graveyard. Okay, now they're just goofing. Probably going to play 2 Nadus from hand, then concede. That's fair. Cool. All right. That was dicey for a minute and a pretty egregious turn 1 punt. But now we are up a game, unpunished, the usual. This is Nadu Breakfast, which means there's a Thassa's Oracle in their deck somewhere, but we've also seen Ormschant and Teferi, so I don't want to rely too much on any one thing. Ghost Vacuum Prismatic Ending, I like. Teferi's great, Curator's great. Uro was a rock star that game. It was running amok with an Uro like it's 2019. This one's tough. Like, what do I cut here? This Force of Will matters a lot, but we're also both halfling to fairy decks, where Force of Will can be a bad draw. Consign to Memory has hits, but it also has a lot of misses. Endurance never really works against Cephalid Breakfast because it's just not a real answer to what they're presenting. At best, it resets them by a turn. I could cut Mana Dorks and plan for a longer game. If I have to settle into the control role in a matchup that's not going to attack my mana, maybe the Dorks are what goes out. And I do usually have Bill pretty high on my list of cards that are cuttable, but being able to tie a Nadu line together with Zenith is something that I missed the one time it was available and something that I have used in the times that it was available. Maybe I just don't play both Endurance. With Ghost Vacuums and Endurance around, I also shouted out Malanthrope as a card I could play for value. Okay, I think I'm going to try it like this. Okay, going to rely heavily on this being a deck that doesn't attack my mana. I will keep this one lander on the strength of Ponder. And fetching Tundra here gives me a ton of interaction, though. Opponent had the same plan as me. Tundra Ponder. Honest Legacy Wizards. No shenanigans afoot. They didn't shuffle their Ponder. Found a Zenith. Unfortunately, there's no way to get all three of my colors out of a Zenith for Dryad Arbor. So I'm going to lean on Ponder and get paid handsomely. Cool. Just 3 lands off the Ponder. Exactly what you want to see when you keep a hand like this one. And now I've got 2 removal spells, a Force of Will, a line to Nadu, and the Nomad already in hand. Halfling can resolve. I have a bunch of answers to that. Oh, Nomad. No. A basic plains, prismatic ending, leave the plow up. Hope they needed those things, at least one of them. A Ponder, didn't shuffle, played a land and passed. Tropical Island. I'm going to put my Nomad out there, threaten this Nadu. Make them start answering me for a change. I am in trouble to a Teferi into combo setup, or Orum's Chant beats me here, straight up. Okay, no land, no spell, just pass. I could hedge maze here, or I could just go for it. Alright, they didn't try to push last turn. I'm going to see what they got here. Hopefully their hand is just Nadus and Cephalid Illusionists with no payoff, and this runs away. Brainstorm in response. And Force Pitching Memories Journey. Okay, that's out of the way. And they don't need that unless I disrupt them once. Safe to attack here because they can't fetch Dryad Arbor. If they even have Dryad Arbor. This is probably not a Zenith build of the deck. Never mind. I take it back. Ooh, they could have flipped an Archimedes in front of that, though. I should not have attacked there. Didn't get punished. Might just die here, though. But if they had Force up, that doesn't matter. Shaman Encore, look at you. The redundancy. The critical redundancy. The 1-2 in the cycle. What do I even do about that? Just concede? Or just entomb Uro straight into my graveyard. I'll take that one. Hey, I'm going to pass here. Maybe if I'm going to plow, I should just do it. Because this did give them 1 extra draw step to find Force of Will. Nadu's in. No Encore to go with it. Big draws. Wasteland's not a small draw. Okay, green, green, blue, blue. Uro. Trigger. Hit the other Wasteland. That would be sick. Okay, put in Misty Rainforest. Wasteland. Take out the green. I can't take them off white here, even though I do think taking them off white is better. And I'm going to pass and hope they don't have a third Nomad right away. But I could still brainstorm into plow if they do. No green mana, but their green card's already in play. Getting in there. Might as well. Uro's going to cancel that out, but you got to get your beats. It's certainly not blocking. You get my Portico. Dump this Windswept Teeth. No thank you. Nadu, Winged Wisdom. That's a good card. I'm going to attack with Uro first. See if I could draw out a Swords to Plowshares on something that is powerful, but not exactly what I'm worried about. Okay. Success. They can't Narcomoeba me here. And Brainstorm could hit Teferi and really lock me up. I think I'm just going to go for Nadu. Sad. Okay. I will brainstorm in response. This could find another nomad, and it did. Okay, well, this is why we play brainstorm. It was your hand 3 Swords to Plowshares. Seems it was not. Gonna get Prismatic Ending and Endurance off of the Brainstorm. Now I'm seeing fresh cards, another Nomad, another land. Play this Nomad for 2 more flips. Teferi, fetch Dryad Arbor for 2 more flips. It is very stupid how Nadu works and how quickly this devolves into insanity. Okay, I think I can pass the turn here. And I have 8 flips if they try to, 8 flips if they try to do anything. But their hand was nothing a moment ago. Okay, well, game on then. I'm looking for a Force of Will or a Swords to Plowshares. Nadu. And my computer just froze and crashed in the middle of this sequence, but we have recovered it. Okay, I flipped Prismatic Ending. Right at the height of drama. Okay. I get 6 more looks. I need a Force or a Plow. A land. 4 more looks. And the Brainstorms are all just more looks as well. Haven't found anything yet. Another Brainstorm. And last free flip here. Ghost Vacuum. I can definitely Brainstorm. That one can happen. A bunch more stuff that doesn't help here. I'm going to put back Nomad and back up Nadu. Are there still fetchable lands? I don't see my basic island in play yet. Okay, basic island and Tundra are the fetches remaining in the deck. I can still pitch cast Endurance for 2 more flips if it gets desperate. Oh, Sweet Relief. Okay. That was a lot of looks, and I think the odds were in my favor, but it is a relief to hit. Okay, Tundra is the only land left in my deck. I'll fetch it. Let's just get that out of there. Okay, my deck is just all spells now. And I don't play a Thassa's Oracle, so I do have to be careful on how hard I'm going to spew off here. I should have what I need to win the game, though. We got the GGs in the chat, though. Seems like they're willing to pack it here. And concede they did. And there you have it. A positive record with Nadu. Safe to say I did not play perfectly. And with perfect play and knowing what the sideboard, how the sideboard maps out, like I was making that up on the fly. If you were really dialed in on this, I could see how it would win a lot of matches for you. The deck's powerful. It's redundant. If it finds one crack to walk through, it's going to run a mile and just run you over. I'm much more interested in registering Thoughtseize and Psychic Frog for Eternal Weekend, but I would not fault anyone who wants to do this, and I'm glad this deck exists. Claire, thank you for the opportunity to play this. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out 3-for-1 Trading's Black Friday sale, and I'll see you next time.